Hi, this is Carlos Perez with Center Real Estate, and
Diana with Center Real Estate.
we're here at Center Real Estate's latest listing is here at Freshwater, 12371 Freshwater. We have, this home is the most beautiful home in the neighborhood. The views, it stands out. People slow down as you're driving in there. So Diana's gonna give us a tour of this home today.
Yes, welcome, come on in.
This house is really the epitome of modern mid-century, or mid-century modern, like you would say it, right?
Yes, it is definitely inspired by the mid-century modern architecture. My clients for this, that are selling this home, I've known them for years now. And it was a passion project, to say the least. And this was the vision coming into reality, which was something very unique and different from anything else that is available. And I think they definitely delivered on that vision.
So let's see, I really like these cabinets. I know this color is kind of trending now, but it's a more traditional look of the cabinets, but they look very modern. Really
Well,
modern.
I think what stands out about them is that it's natural. We've been seeing painted cabinets for so long, whether it be white or gray, or the accent island, where I don't know if you've seen them, where it's an accent blue or an accent black. But we're talking about, they've always, at least for the recent past, they've been painted. Although this was in a couple decades ago.
Yes.
So I think that's something that we are really gravitating to, because we're not seeing this around, and it brings that natural element. And I think that after COVID, we were cooped up, that any nature that we can bring into the home really helps us feel good.
Feels more natural, more nature-like, right? And this fridge is definitely different.
Oh yeah.
This fridge.
I mean, if you wanted to get something like this right now, they're about 12 to 24 months in back order.
Wow.
And this unit right here is one separate from the freezer. So that entire side is the freezer, this entire side is the fridge. So even this alone is very unique, because if you wanted to get one right now, you couldn't.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Really good. And then, so this is definitely a place with a lot of light. Like, these windows are just like a whole wall of windows. So is there a story behind that?
Yes, there is. One of the features that you saw in the 50s and the 60s was having that indoor-outdoor space. So when you're inside, you feel like you have the outdoors in, and then when you're outside, you feel like you're inside the home.
Yes.
So if you see that space right here, you still have those high ceilings, and if you were to be lounging in there, you would feel like this is just an extension of where you're at. Yeah. Another thing that we see very often is those large windows. Right around that time of modernism, this is pre-mid-century, you saw that they found a way of doing large panes of glass that wouldn't break.
Yes.
And so that's why we started seeing that more often.
Oh, interesting fact. Interesting fact. Yes.
Post the 1930s.
Yes. And I know this island is huge. I really love it for entertaining. It, like you mentioned, it does make this entire area, including the outdoors, feel like it's one place.
We did spend some time here yesterday. We had a little dinner party with the owners, and you saw how everybody was just gathering around the island.
Yes.
This was definitely the gathering place, and we had all sorts of a charcuterie board, we had some wine, we had some wine glasses, and everybody was really enjoying themselves in this space. We had some music playing, and it just makes you feel good.
Yeah. It definitely feels good, yes. And what else do you have to show us?
Let's take a look outside. So they do have some renderings that I'll go ahead and show you. But they do have some plans for the exterior. Check out these doors. So again, it goes to the incorporation of both spaces.
So it's a clean slate, but it's a very big lot. You don't see these size lots anymore.
I mean, as you can tell, it's a very wide home. You saw that in the exterior. that's one of the reasons that it stands out, is because it's so wide, and now the lots are being built lengthwise, and so they got very lucky that they were able to find a lot where they could build, you know, this home is divided into two separate wings. You have the center with the main living areas, and then you have the right side of the home, and then you have the left side of the home. And even with that, even with it being 3,000 square feet, single story, you don't eat up all the lot. You still have enough space for a pool back here, a cabana, a deck, and even an outdoor kitchen.
Yes. Well, you mentioned the renderings.
Oh yeah, here. So this is just an example of the pool that they had in mind. Something very simple, again, going back to the minimal lines of this time period, and then a kitchen space where you could hang out, have dinner, grill, watch the game, and then over to the other side of the home, some garden beds and a deck to hang out on.
Yeah, even the color scheme and the lighting is very similar to the interior.
Yes. And again, if you're inside, you feel like you're
part of the outside.
Yeah, like that living area is part of the home. I don't think I pointed this out, but I don't know if this reminds you of like the wet bars that you see in the older homes.
Yes.
Right, it's normally called a wet bar because you would have a little sink, and this is where you would have your martini glasses, and you would have your drinks to entertain and such. So we don't have the wet bar, the actual sink, because the sink is just right there. But it's a perfect space to have all your glassware and those valued items. And these actually the glass. So it's a little bit of privacy, but you have the two separate elements of the glass and the wood.
Now I always have to do this, but are these soft close? I always like to check. Yeah.
Yes. So the homeowner is actually he does a lot of woodworking. We actually have a workshop in the garage where he set up everything that he needs to paint cabinets, build furniture, and so he has a really good appreciation for cabinetry. He didn't build these because we needed the space to be able to hold all his equipment, but when we were building this home, this is one of those things that took us the longest to select.
The cabinets.
The cabinets.
Yeah, it's an important part of the home, very focal.
Because not just the type of wood, but also the stain. The stain had to be perfect.
Yeah, it looks great.
And then I also wanted to point out these skylights. It's not like we need any more natural light, but I mean, these really just, it feels so good.
Yeah, you don't see skylights this big in any home. Even homes that are bigger, you don't see this size of skylights, which it makes the room, again, you do feel like you're outside and like the sky is in the house. Yeah.
And then did you notice how this light fixture perfectly fits between these two?
Yes.
Yeah, that wasn't by accident.
Okay.
Everything was very well thought out. Even these legs on the side of the island and then the front design of the cabinet, that was all thoughtfully thought out. And if you notice, we don't have anything elaborate. Like probably the most elaborate thing that we have in this entire space is the backsplash. Everything else is very simple, very clean, and very minimalistic.
Okay. Where do you show us it?
Yeah,
the rooms?
Let's go ahead. This wing you have, let's start with the front room. This is, guess how long this room is, how wide?
I would say it's maybe like 19 feet.
Pretty close, it's 20 feet.
Okay, 20 feet.
Right, so you don't see this.
You don't see that in a bedroom now, at least not the main bedroom.
Yeah, and this is something also true to that time period because, you know, there was more land, we didn't have to subdivide each lot into 40-foot wide home sites, so we had space to spread out, and that's why it's so uncommon to see that now. So 20-foot wide, this is a walk-in closet, and then there's the back bedroom mirrors this size as well.
Okay.
And then what do you think about these windows at the front?
Yeah, those windows, like, I mean, they make this room, you don't even need any, there's no real artwork or anything on the walls, and you don't need it with those windows there.
It's
like a painting, this guy looks like a painting. Yeah.
Exactly. And then they're not gonna have any front door neighbors, so we don't have that we have that unobstructed light. for the rest of, we have a full bath here with 2 sinks. And then, so building this house for them, it was their baby. Like, this house took up a big portion of their day-to-day life, and this is where they were dedicating a lot of their time. But in between all of that, they actually did end up having a baby, and this is what they dedicated to baby Olive.
This is the fanciest light fixture I've seen in a nursery
Any baby has ever had.
Of course.
Interesting fact, that color right here is color of the year for 2021 when we bought this house, is persimmon. And it's still true to the time period where we have like this coral, and then you have like a sage gray color. And as we go through the house, you'll see the same color palette carry through. This hallway feels spacious because of these 8-foot tall doors. It's something that, unless it's pointed out, you don't perceive it, but it feels nicer.
Yes, of course.
And so this is the other room that is 20 feet wide. This closet here is actually bigger than the one in the front, so very good storage space. This bathroom, this can be its own mini suite. So like a mother-in-law or like an older teenager, they could have their own private entry, and then they have their walk-in shower. And then,
Yes. Yeah, and I really like how the color palette continues throughout the house. Yes.
Did you see that window in there as well?
I did not notice it, but yeah, nice touches. I mean, it's something, it's there, and it just, you overlook it. But yeah.
Now to the other side of the home. Oh, actually, before I move on, let me show you this room. I wouldn't mind working here, right?
Yeah, this is a very nice office. I mean, it's literally a corner office in your own home.
Yes.
Right? And the windows, again, it's gorgeous. There's like one piece of art on the walls, and you don't need anything else.
It's a very moody, very masculine space because of the color. We flipped the desk that way just for staging purposes, but if it was like, you know, not being staged, I would probably face it that way, and I could see myself working here and not minding it at all. So, come on. You know, I don't know if as we go through the home, you'll pay attention to the type of furniture that they have, and it goes again back to his craft, which is woodworking. And this is one of the pieces he actually, I believe his grandfather, it belonged to his grandfather.
Oh, wow.
So it's an original vintage piece, but he does it, part of the business plan is to create furniture like this.
Okay.
That's quality that will last. And
Yeah,
that is
it really
walnut.
It really matches the house.
It does. It makes it feel
Yes.
authentic.
Yes.
So
Then what do we have here?
So on
master
that
suite?
side of the home, we had the secondary bedrooms. On this side, you have the primary and the laundry room and a mudroom that connects to the garage. But let's go ahead and walk inside to the master. You have these 2 double doors, right? So just a really nice grand entrance. They're 8-foot tall as well. And the sconces here, you know, you can dim the
Recessed light?
the recess. You can dim that and then just leave those on, you know, at night while you're reading a book, and not have to, you know, bother your significant other while you're
That's something
doing your
I noticed there's no, we went through most of the house now, and there's no carpet in this one.
And what do you think about the color of the floor?
I think it's a color that doesn't go out of style. Yeah.
Very neutral
Yes.
and natural.
Yes.
So this is probably one of the most important rooms in any home, and one of the things that any homeowner really pays attention to. And we didn't, you know, we did not, I say we like if I live in this house, but I felt like I was part of the whole project because it was part of my life as well. And they're such good friends that when I say we, I feel like I also built it. But this is an extra large, I want to say it's called a Titan tub.
Okay.
Maybe about 6 feet wide.
Yeah, it's huge.
It is.
Yes.
That alone is, I mean, I don't remember exactly how it was, but it was really expensive.
Okay.
Even the valve, like they had to purchase the valve separately, and I couldn't believe how much it was when they told me. And then in the shower, let me show you the shower. How many shower heads do you see?
I could see 1, 2, 3, 4.
You have the rain shower head, that large one, and then you have the two, what we would normally see, and then you have a handheld one.
Okay, I see that.
How would you like to have your own vanity that's separate from all your wife's lotions and potions?
Yeah, that's so nice. The dual vanities always help. Yeah.
So another important room.
The walk-in closet.
Can you guess whose side is whose?
Yeah, for sure. It's always a hers and hers closet.
Yes. Yeah, we have a perfect space towards the back for shoes or purses. But either side, whichever side, it's not lacking any space. This room alone is 20 feet, almost 20 feet wide. And then, have you ever seen a closet with 2 doors?
I have not.
You have a closet with 2 doors.
I do? Okay.
This space is a mudroom.
Okay.
They actually used it for the dogs.
Okay.
But it could easily be turned with like a little cabinet here where you take off your shoes and...
A mud room?
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
And then, how do you feel about this?
Okay, I haven't seen a chandelier this nice in a laundry room ever.
But you know what? It's one of the features that stands out from the exterior.
Yes, definitely.
You notice it.
Yes.
And it actually mirrors the shape of the chandelier in the front. In the center.
Yes.
Of the entrance. You have a sink here for functionality, lots of cabinet space. This color is also very true to the time period. And then this was probably one of the most labor-intensive parts of the home.
I really like the flooring. Very intricate pattern.
I'm surprised that we don't have one that's out of place. Yeah. This here is a walk-in closet, and it has an automatic light, which brings it up that this home is actually a smart home.
Okay.
So it can be hooked up to like your Alexa and have it turn on the lights. It'll turn on the lights automatically.
Okay.
The light bulbs also, and then it's also pre-wired for security cameras. And so you have a whole, I don't know if you saw it in the closet.
Yes.
You have a whole little, I guess, station for to keep an eye and keep your home safe.
Yes.
What are your
thoughts? It's a beautiful home. It's a beautiful home. They thought about every detail. You could tell, like you mentioned, it was a labor of love.
It was. And you know, this is the 4th transaction. And they've always been very smart about what they invest in, and they didn't fall short this time.
For sure. So beautiful home. I'm sure it's gonna sell really fast.